What's up, guys? It's Cody coming back at you with another video. Today I just wanted to kind of tell you guys a funny story that happened the other day. I got home from work and I changed my brakes. I changed the rear brake pads, and on one side it was super simple. Took 15 minutes to get the tire off and change the brake pads and get the tire back on. And then the other side was a complete nightmare. So let's go ahead and get to a little story and I'll tell you guys what happened. It was kind of funny. You guys are gonna like this one. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I make new videos about my 7.3 all the time, always putting new parts on it and putting out content every few days. So please subscribe and enjoy the video. All right, you guys, so about 2 months ago, my brakes started to get real bad in the front, so I got new rotors and pads for the front. The rear pads still looked okay, so I bought the pads a little while later, and then I barely got the chance to change the pads out the other day after work. So let's go ahead and get into the truck so I can show you guys what happened. All right, so over here on the passenger side, driver's side. So I take the wheel and tire off, and I take out these two bolts that you have to take off to get this. I'm not real knowledgeable on the terms. I think this is the caliper, brake caliper cover maybe, or something like that. But anyways, whatever it's called, you take these two bolts off. I've done brakes tons of times. You take this cover off, and then the pads are inside. You take the old pads off, you put the new pads on, put those bolts back in. Took maybe 15 minutes to do the whole job and get this tire back on. So let's go jump at the other side and see what happened over there, because it was a nightmare. So I get home and I think I'm really tired, but I'm just gonna change my brakes real quick. Shouldn't take long. The other side took real quick. Come over here, take this bolt off. This bolt comes right out, super easy, no problems. And then this one would not come out. I could not get it out to save my life. I tried every different tool. I had sockets on it, and then regular wrenches, and I tried, putting cheaters on it. The bolt just got super stripped out, would not come out. So I had to weld this 3/4 inch nut on the bolt head. So the 3/4 inch nut basically fit over the head of the bolt. So I was able to weld the inside. It's just flux core wire. I welded the inside of the nut to the bolt head, and it was probably about 30 or 45 minutes I was trying to get the nut off until I finally welded this. I welded it on, put a socket on it with a big breaker bar, and because of the heat, it just came right off. I didn't have to put a lot of pressure on it, but the heat made it loosen up, which as a Boilermaker, I work with a lot of fittings, like big 2-inch fittings that are threaded. And sometimes when we can't get them off, we'll heat them up with a torch, and then they come right off. So that's what ended up happening here. By the time I had heated it up, the 3/4 inch nut, it was almost unnecessary. It just came right out. But I didn't want to put the torch on it because this is a rubber right here. But welding it was enough heat to get it off. But that's pretty much it. That's obviously something I'm going to change. I just did it. I had already had the tire and wheel off and this out, other side done. So I thought I just want to get it out, put the new brake pads on. I put this back in, and then I can change it out later, but as soon as possible. I mean, it works just fine. I mean, really, it's welded on the head. The bolt went all the way back in and hit on the head, this part, the head. It's sealed up like that over here. You just can't see from this angle. I mean, if it was stuck again, I could put a big crescent wrench on it now, or a big socket. So it works. It gets the job done. Everything's gonna be okay, but I don't want to leave it like that, so I'm gonna change it as soon as possible. So that's pretty much it, you guys. That was my story. So that's the benefits to being a welder and having a welder. Welding machine was able to weld a bigger nut onto that bolt because it wouldn't come out. The bolt head was stripped up bad. So but there's a kind of a lesson for you guys. If you guys ever get a bolt stuck real bad, heat will help get it out. And if just heating it alone isn't enough, if you have a buddy that welds or anything like that, you can weld a bigger nut over the bolt head, and then you can take it out like that. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Funny story. It was supposed to be a super simple, easy brake job. Ended up taking like hour and a half, 2 hours, because I couldn't get that bolt out, and then I went home and went to sleep. But all right, you guys, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.